I tried Epithalon. Never listen to anything I say. I'm only sharing my personal experience. This is not medical advice, and you should never do peptides without talking to your doctor first. Epithalon or Epithalon is the Russian peptide that helps your cells stay younger longer. Benjamin Button, turning back the hands of time. So this is a tiny 4-amino peptide developed by the Russians, which is interesting, perhaps why it explains that the Western medical studies are always so skewed and negative and critical. More on that later. But it is a natural substance found in the pineal gland, the part of the brain that helps regulate sleep and, you guessed it, aging. Scientists made synthetic versions of this very small and easy for the body to use. Russian scientists. And here's what makes it interesting in simple terms. Every time the cells in your body divide, these protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes, they're called telomeres, get a little bit shorter. So think of telomeres like the plastic little tips on your shoelaces. When they get too short, the cells can no longer divide properly, and eventually your cells stop working or it dies. This shortening of your telomeres is one of the main reasons for aging at the cellular level. Epithalon appears to help by turning on the natural repair enzyme called telomerase in normal cells, and telomerase can add length back to your telomeres. And I'm not just talking out of my ass. Let's talk about the human data research. If you look outside the US and Canada, Eastern European research, and of course, where it was invented, Russia. A key 2003 study published in the Bulletin of Experimental Biology and Medicine, researchers in Russia took human fetal cells that normally have no active telomerase. They added Epithalon. It switched the telomerase gene back on. The telomerase got longer, about 2.4 times longer, and the cells kept dividing, well past the point where they would have stopped. What does this mean and why is it exciting? It's exciting because it shows that Epithalon can help normal human cells stay active and youthful and keep dividing and growing when they need to repair and renew. Now, what about abnormal and damaged cells in our body? Because we all have them. This is where the research gets even more interesting again if you look outside of the US. In animal studies, Epithalon didn't just lengthen telomeres in healthy cells. It also appeared to help the body deal with bad senescent cells that are growing out of control. These are in all of our bodies. Senescent cells cause reactive oxygen species, as well as can cause metabolic diseases later on in life called cancer. In a 2002 study in Cancer Letters, rats that were given a chemical that causes colon tumors were treated with very small doses of Epithalon. The rats that had the Epithalon developed fewer tumors. The tumors that did appear were smaller, and the overall tumor growth was reduced compared to those who didn't get Epithalon. So beyond telomeres and senescent cell cleanup, Epithalon has shown to have other supportive effects. In monkeys, it helped restore normal daily rhythms of melatonin, the sleep hormone, and regulate cortisol, the stress hormone. It has also been shown to reduce markers of oxidative stress and DNA damage. Lifespans in mice and even fruit flies, and this is where we start all our studies, just to let you know, showed increases in both average and maximum lifespan in both species, with the biggest benefits seen in animals that lived the longest. So after I tested some Epithalon and proved that it was pure, I cycled this little sucker for 20 days straight, and I kept the data across the board in my sleep scores, neuroplasticity, brain function, executive function training, like brain games, and subjectively, mood and focus journaling that I kept every day. Calling my experience how I felt and also all the other data to be profound would be an understatement. Again, this is just my story. This does not mean it's going to work for you the same way. But you know what? I get to tell my story because it effing worked for me. I track my deep sleep with an 8 sleep. My deep sleep scores increased by 20% on the first night I took the first dose. And my 8 sleep didn't know I took the Epithalon, so go figure. Subjectively, my mood, my focus improved within days of starting Epithalon. My neuroplasticity training scores on my brain games increased by 17%. And no, I didn't just start them, so there wasn't familiarity. I'd been playing them for quite a long time. And although I didn't measure my telomere changes, because although that's possible, it's in-depth and expensive, I overall felt an increase in my energy, circadian rhythm patterns, and my mood. Lastly, I am now well past the cycle, and my increase in mental focus, again, my sleep quality, my executive function, my ability to be able to recall memories, vocabulary, navigate the complexities of life day to day, has improved long after I stopped my use. So, is this Benjamin Button in a bottle? Does it turn back the hands of time? We can't go that far and say, but I can tell you that subjectively, my experience on this peptide has mirrored a lot of the scientific research that is out there. And for anyone wishing to know more about my experience, the dosing, the sourcing, the research sources, hit me up on my DM to see if my journey might shed some light on your longevity goals. So personally, of all the peptides that I've tried, I would rate Epithalon a solid B+ in the category of longevity peptide usage, and I am not surprised, ironically, that the FDA has this on their list of the top 7 peptides where they're considering legalizing it in the compound pharmacy for medical usage.